doing? All right?
I don't do heels.
Do you have to coat?
I want to.
How are you doing, guys? You okay to carry on?
Yeah.
Hey, look.
I'll meet you in a cafe after.
No.
No?
Well, that depends actually. If you're going to buy me a cake, cup of tea, a sticky bun, and maybe a baguette as well.
Yeah, done. I'll see you later. You don't need me. You only got Heather.
I know, yeah. Is that a little? Yeah, come on, pick some. Up onto that side. Big step. Last week, boys, on Monday we brought Brisbane here and the water level because it had been raining so much. Some tracks. Some tracks.
Yeah, look how deep it is.
Ready to bring your walking boots now?
Yeah.
Reese, Daddy's coming
The
through
water
what?
level was high. Hey! My feet.
Okay, so this is an original cart that they would have put the slate on. Now it wouldn't have gone out that entrance there because that wasn't an entrance or an exit. That was basically a drainage channel. So this was dug as a drainage channel because the mine flooded quite a lot. Now we're going to go to another chamber in a minute where it is flooded. And below that there's another one, possibly two levels we don't know yet because we haven't dived us down that deep. But this is an original cart from the 1800s, so around about 130 years old. And it still moves, it's still up and down. And if you look at it, there's differences to the carts we use nowadays, or the trains we use nowadays. The wheels have got double flanges on. And the reason for that is the tracks they're on were never the same distance apart. They would keep moving like this. So if the corridors got narrower, the trolleys would get narrower. And you can see the spindle they're sat on, the wheels would move up and down that spindle with the tracks, and they wouldn't fall off. Okay. And what they would do is they would put about a big, massive ton to 2 tons of slate on here, and it would be pushed up the incline, which we're going to be walking off later, or hauled up there as well. Now, unfortunately, it's sort of like back in the 1800s, we didn't look after our children very much. And you guys, how old are you?
12.
12? 10. Well, you'd have been in the mines 2 years by now, and you'd have just come in the mine, and your job was to push this around. Okay, so do me a favour, can I have one of the dads to sit on it?
Oh.
Go on, Damien.
Come on, one of the dads to sit on
You've got to be the heaviest.
it. If you come this side, boys, all we're going to push it about a foot that way. So you just sit on it, Dad. This way. So remember, there's only your dad on it, not 2 tons of weight. Now push it.
Uphill.
That'll do, that'll do.
Good. Can you do that for the rest of the
Brain not that.
Taking turns.
Imagine that, you say it's not that bad, imagine that now with about a ton of slate on it.
Let him sit on it.
And there'd have been about 4, oh that's a bit cheeky, there would have been about 4 of you. Now also the young children, the young boys, now girls weren't allowed in the mines. They were, they didn't get off lightly either. So the boys, as well as pushing the carts around, they would have one of the worst jobs in the mine, and that was carrying the explosives around. So they'd be carrying a box of black powder under their arm with a candle. So if they fell over, what do you think happened?
Bang, bang.
Yeah, goodbye little boy. Okay. However, mum and dad would have a bit of fun making another one, because the more children or the more boys they had in the mine, the more money they were doing. It's dad that was the most important person of the family because he earned the money. If dad was injured or killed, the houses that they lived in were rented, and they were rented from the mine owner. Injured or killed, couldn't do his job, they would kick them out of the house literally the day after and put a family in there that could do the work and make the mine owner money. Okay, so a pretty ruthless industry, very tantamount to slavery, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So if you look at the cart itself, as I say, it's an original cart. Wood is Canadian redwood, and the reason it's Canadian, they use Canadian redwood, is it used to come back as ballast on the ships, but also because it's high resin content, so it takes a long time to rot. Okay, so this is about 150 years old, this pulley, and you can still see the timbers are still quite strong. If you cut through those, the centre of the timber would still be in very good condition. Okay, so it's tantamount to how the miners and the engineers of those days worked, and the way they put things together and what they actually physically used to do it. We're going to carry on a little bit further down, and we're going to hopefully meet Danny at the boat. Yes, I've got your swimming costume ready. Yes, young man. That's just mud. Okay, because a week ago was Monday, we had massive storms over the weekend. This tunnel was that deep in water.
Wow.
Okay, we still bring clients in here. So, oh yeah, seriously. And we wade down this tunnel. But it drops and raises very, very quickly. It never goes to the ceiling because it is a natural way that the water flows out. So it'll only ever get to sort of right about knee deep, and that's about as deep as it can get. So we all end up with wet feet and cold feet for the rest of the day. But it's still good fun coming in and do through things like that. Trying to get through that gate at the end where the water level's up, good fun. Sometimes you have to put your head underwater. Okay, so boys, we're going to move on and we're going to find out. Okay guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave me down here. I'm going to go get a cup of tea at the cabinet. Do you want a coffee or a... tissue. I'm going to go and check off something else and then I'll meet you on the other side of the gate, guys. Okay?
No, sit on the seat so it's there for you. Then you go.
Drop him in the water. Can you have a go?
I think you can leg over.
Do it. Thank you. Can't say we're very good.
That one.
Need to get in the boat.
Don't pedal yet.
I'm not paddling.
Oh, I'm just saying, don't pedal yet.
Okay.
Sorry?
We're going to stand right there, guys.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you guys that did whitewall rafting, you'll be experts. We're going that way, guys. Off you go. So you
Alright, carry on.
on this side. Now start going on the right side. A bit more on the right side, guys, so it turns. A bit more less on the left, more on the right. There it goes. And all together now, guys. Oh, something like that. Perfect. Keep going. Keep going. You want to go. So we wanted to go on the bank on the left over here. Go forwards a bit more. Keep going. Put it out on the left. Another one. And now we need to turn. So big strokes on the right, back paddle on the left. That's it. All right, everybody paddle. Stop going backwards, stop going backwards. You're going to turn the boat. Stop going backwards. Okay, so go backwards on the right, guys, and forward on the left. Right, now everybody go forward. Quick. Go forward. Forward. Okay, stop paddling. Straighten the boat, guys.
Could have swum that.
Yeah, it can be one. Bloody cold.
Right, guys, so step out this side of the boat, obviously. Not that side.
No, she's going out the other side.
Yeah, I'm going to swim.
Don't drop the oar.
You can leave the paddle in the boat if you're so kind. You don't need that when you're on the boat.
Don't leave me.
Yep, you're going You're going down the hole.
Come away from the water's edge, young man. There's a good boy.
You come in.
Yeah, that's
Take your
everyone.
boys,
There's
there
no
you
one
go.
left behind now. That's everyone.
Yeah, so take your boys here. Okay, so you pull down on all of that, wait for the wire, just go for a run. here. Put it here. That's it, one at a time, remember? And the other one, bring it and put it over here. Oh my god. Yep, no, over here. Onto there. Okay, go back. Turn and face me. Turn and face me. No, what are we doing here? Looks like you've got these strapped around there. Hang on a minute, I'm going to sort it out in a second. Oh. Okay, pull down with all them. Yep, get your hands off the wire and go for a run. Ready? Pop the other one there for me. Just make sure that when you do, sometimes they don't click because it's got a bit dusty. Just give them a tap. Yeah. Just to make sure that they're done. Okay, so pop your other carabiner in front. Just that. Okay, and then basically pull down on all of that, keep your hands away from the wire and go for a run.
Where's your camera? Right, that one there out of the way. That one there, so you're nice and safe. Take this off you, because somebody else needs it. And just stay on that rope behind you till the rope runs out. Alright, then you can unclip it. Alright, okay.
Low here, isn't it? Yeah.
There you do. Good. If you just come up to there. Don't do anything yet. So what I want you to do is clip into this. This lip here, both carabiners. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where I want you to sit. So if you look down there, you see that big rock there? See that big rock there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you just sit in and around that area there,
Yeah.
it's safe and everybody's out of the way.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to wait for him or not?
No, you're fine. Once you're here, it's fine. So let me just make sure this is nice and tight for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're going to do is come and stand on that step there where my torch is shining.
Yeah.
Have you episode before?
Yeah.
Okay, it was very much stabs and except we're lower than you.
Yeah.
So just stand on that step there where my torch is. Try not to pull on these because I need to keep it nice and tight.
Alright, okay.
That's it. Hang on 2 seconds. All I want you to do then is just basically sit down into your harness like you're sitting on a chair.
Yeah.
So both feet on that step there. Sit down into your harness like you're sitting on a chair.
Not going forward or backwards?
You're going to go forward, but you're going to spin round.
Alright.
Put your feet, so don't worry. Yeah, so sit down into your harness, your feet off like you're on a swing.
Yep.
Yep, go. So swing off.
Okay.
Yep, okay.
Yep.
So spin round, feet on the rock face.
Right.
So when you get to the bottom, just unclip your cow's tails. and let me know you're off, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. Away you go. When you get to the bottom, you're going to take your little carabiners out of that loop, yeah? Well done, Louise. Good man. You on the floor? Good man. So take the carabiners out for me then. Good stuff. Who's next? Mum?
Right.
It goes all the way down to that passageway, but we can't get there now because it's buried. It's going to keep collapsing. If we're going, we're going up there.
Oh my!
Yeah? Yeah, we're over there.
Yeah. Use your hands as well, Lewis, if you need to. Hold the wall if you need to. Come on, you crawl up, on your hands and knees. Sit.
What do you think that is? What floor do you think that is? Where have we just come from?
3.
No?
4.
We just come off 2.
Oh,
3. We don't go in there, do we?
it's Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Only Indiana Jones goes in there.
Yep. Rocks. You felt how cold it is? Have you felt how cold it is? Yeah.
Simon, you ready?
I'm ready.
Go on then.
Lean back on the rope and keep your feet nice apart and you won't bend them. Perfect. There you go. That's it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes, yes. It's a nice, gentle, very warm, nice breathing.
Oh, put it again.
Ready?
Yeah.
If you go on there, come this way a bit because the rope won't reach it. Okay, so grab that black one. one down there. Ready?
Okay, well, we're ready.
Really pulling it, alright? Forget that leg one. Off you go. Alright, take your time.
Oh,
Horrible, isn't it? Take your time. Good man. That's it, that works.
Well done, young man. Keep coming. Keep pulling. That's it. Keep pulling. Stand up. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Bit different dialect down there, isn't it?
I speak.
Don't touch that when prop on the left first. You keep literally holding that piece of rock up.
Speak that. With the snaps, then everything goes.
Come on then. Free jump.
So this literally is the air shaft.
Have you enjoyed yourself?
Been brilliant.
Yeah? You really enjoyed it?
Yes.
Just lean against the wall to change over. Just lean on the wall. Just lean on the wall. That's it. That's it. Alright, there you go.
Give me a chance, I will.
Go on.
Everybody move to the left side. Put it in there.
You on? You on, yeah?
So this is a bit of an offshore losing, guys. A bit longer than what you can do.
You just saying that.
Oh, you're flat out.
Oh, come on in. Oh,
Raining up here.
Is it raining?
Well, I seem to be getting very wet.
No.
It already is in here.
I can make it rain. Million daylight.
This must have been the best sight in the world. And you were stuck down here. Oh, look.
Hi.
Oh, that ladder moves.
Yeah, the ladder move.
Oh.
Up you come. That's it, you're going through. Kevin is there. Hey, high five, buddy. High five. Yay, well done.
Oh, that's fantastic cold.
All the way to that knot there, onto the end, and then you can come off. But don't go any further than that little pile of rocks there, yeah? Stay in that area there for me. And I'm sure Dad will make sure you do.
Oh, dry rope. Oh, dry rock.
I'll see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my.
If we have...
Take the plate.
Oh, why not?
That's next year.
What did you say?
It's not going to do extreme.
Finish yet? Enjoy yourself? Yes. Very good, thank you. We're good. Adventure.
Don't go past.
I'll get the one in the end. Sneak out.
What about them ones? Whoa.
They're a bit big, mate. I don't think your house is going to be.
That one. This one. Right. That one. Your socks are falling down.